Poppin' peeps, Goobs back with another video. This one's gonna be a little bit of a different one. As you can see by the title and by the very aggressive thumbnail, this is a rant video, I guess you could call it, or just like, this is just expressing my thoughts about MLB 22. I'm recording this as I get home from work one night. It is July 21st, so the game has been out for what, 2 months, 3-4 months now, say, and there's still day one glaring issues with the game that are still in this game. And obviously, as we have played it more, there's so many problems with this game. I've been playing MLB The Show since MLB 15 was my first ever MLB The Show, and I fell in love with it really from the start. I started off playing Road to the Show, got more so integrated into Diamond Dynasty, I would say, in like MLB 16. That was like the first year that DD really kind of took off. Like, there was DD in 15, but it wasn't really like, there wasn't really anything to do. 16 was finally the year where there was like actual like live content and roster updates and stuff like that, so I really fell in love with it there. I've played a absurd amount of games from MLB 16 up until this year, and I feel like the consensus from anybody who's played the games that long, MLB 18 was by far the worst. From the immortals and the bobbleheads to just the gameplay, everything about that game should just be forgotten. It's so unfortunate though, man, that I think that, you know, 19, 20, and 21, they weren't perfect games by any means necessary, but I just feel like MLB 22, man, we've taken 10 steps backwards this year. I'm going to cover some things in this video. I'm going to cover just like pure gameplay from, you know, some dodgy content that has recently been released, the AllStar content. We'll get into that, don't worry. That is what sparked this video. It's really just, it's so frustrating, man, because I love this game with every ounce of me. It's my favorite video game. It's really the only game that's like keeping me involved in video games now, and that's like really bad for me to say because I fucking love video games, but like it just doesn't feel the same anymore, man. But every year I say the same thing. Oh no, I'm not gonna get excited for MLB, and then the premiere trailers and the premiere stuff starts coming out and they start revealing stuff, and I feel like a kid at Christmas again, man. It happens every year and it probably forever will. That's why I just hate that this year, you know, this was last year. Their excuse was that, okay, it's the first year on Xbox, you know, kind of got to give them a pass, plus COVID was still kind of going on, so it's like, you know, this was supposed to be a good year for MLB The Show. It was the first year on Nintendo Switch, not that that really matters because it's like an entirely different game on an entirely different system and platform that probably less than 2% of your users are on. Let's just first of all hop into just some of the by far glaring issues with the gameplay. Okay, so starting off with the gameplay glaring issues, number one, I'm just gonna kind of like skim through some of these gameplay issues because a lot of these gameplay issues have been a problem for many years. So number one, as you can just see what I just done, foul balls. I believe at the start of this game, Ramon even mentioned that, like, you know, there are going to be like higher whiff rates this year. There aren't going to be as many foul balls. You know, we tested some stuff out, you know, I think there should be less foul balls this year. Boy, was he ever fucking wrong. The actual foul ball. So I think what the problem with foul balls is, man, is the outer PCI. Really, since they integrated that back in like, what was it, MLB 20, I think was the first time it was ever in the game. It's really just kind of taken off since then. Like, foul balls have always been an issue, but I feel like the last like 2-3 years, they've been an even bigger issue. I think number one, just removing the entire outer of the PCI, that automatically like helps out the case for foul balls. But listen, and I don't code video games, I have no idea how that works, but there surely has to just be a way in the code to make it so that you miss more pitches on bad swings. It's actually insane because like it's supposed to go in from like vision and stuff like that, and like K per 9, those stats just throw them out the window, man. It doesn't matter. It's just the way that the game is. There will always be a million foul balls. This is a perfect example, okay, of a card. This 97 Sandy Alcantara looks like, and he probably is, one of the best pitchers in this game. 111 hits per 9, so your PCI is going to be very small against this card. But then I've seen so many people on Twitter and just social media in general flipping out about his 74 K per 9 and how it's not going to be usable. K per 9 affects, it's supposed to affect like the whiff rate and how many foul balls you will give up with that pitcher. Obviously, the higher the K per 9, the more swings and misses you should get. It's not really how it works though when you actually get into a game. Just because of the way that the PCI is made and the way that the game is, this stat doesn't get incorporated into the game how it should be. It doesn't work. You compare somebody like Alcantara 74 K per 9 to somebody like Corbin Burns who has 88, or even somebody, man, like Manoah who has 100. Like, I guarantee you won't really notice a difference between somebody like Manoah and Alcantara, but you should. This Alec Manoah card should get more swings and misses than this Sandy Alcantara card, but it won't. If anything, this Sandy card will get more strikeouts because he has a higher hit per 9, I believe. Yeah, 104 to 111. If anything, hit per 9 affects foul balls more than anything. I don't want to get like too like caught up in the foul ball and stuff like that. That's only like one glaring issue with the gameplay, but that is like the biggest pet peeve of mine. Foul balls, man. I've been asking them to up the whiff rate for years, man, and it just doesn't look like it's ever gonna happen. This one more like kind of gameplay thing I'm gonna touch on is obviously with like the good squared up or like the perfects. I believe there was a graphic that they show like once a year during the beta and stuff like that, and like I think they did it like a couple months into this game. I'm gonna see if maybe Hunt or just somebody like my editor, or even if I can find it, but it's like, it's basically just a chart, and it's, you know, perfect averages versus right-handers, good averages, and then it's like good squared up averages, and it goes through all of like the different timings with their outcomes from the community swings. You know, the whole perfects and goods, and just basically just squaring up the ball and it not making any sense whatsoever. The swing timings, just swing timings in general, just hitting in general, bro. Scrap this hitting engine, okay? You know, they first switched over hitting engines from MLB 16 to MLB 17. That was like the first ever like realistic, or like they tried to like make it like actual baseball, because if you guys played the old MLB The Show games, you know, MLB 15, MLB 16, when you hit the ball, it just went straight. There was no like curve to it, there was no like physic aspect to it. It was basically just when you had your input on the controller and you hit the baseball, the ball went straight. If you can go back and find a home run on MLB 16 down the line, the ball doesn't move, the ball just goes straight. Like, how did it make more sense back then than it does now? Once again, in the aspect, I feel like, you know, as this game should be getting more and more like not futuristic, but like advanced, and it should be getting better, it's taking a million steps backwards in that sense. You can be later sided, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna hop back into practice mode before we dabble into the All-Star Game and Home Run Derby content. I don't know if I'm really gonna be able to like do this perfectly and stuff like that, but I'm gonna see. And obviously I'm playing offline practice mode, but you guys get the gist of like what I'm talking about and stuff like that. As far as like just later side of good in general, man, like it's so hard to believe how different the outcomes can be when you're playing online, when it's just like minimalistic. Is that even a word? Minimalistic? Just minimal timing differences on the, it's either on the left side of like, you know, that bar that comes up, that shows up like that thing just early, so you're on the earlier side of good there, like the just early side of it. I think they put that first in the game in 20 or 21, I think, with like this like red, yellow, green perfect middle bar shit above the timing. Scrap that. Like, that just causes no good. It's the same with seeing your opponent's PCI feedback in recent years. Like, it's just something that doesn't need to be in the game, you know what I mean? Like, you should either literally be early, good, or late on the ball. That right there, later side of good, probably a double to the center fielder. If I am early on that pitch, like on the earlier side of good, that is hit 450 feet down the left field line for a home run. So that's like my two like big glaring issues, man. As far as like pinpoint pitching and stuff like that too, that kind of took a step backwards as well, which is what I feel like was like one of the only things that they got right last year and like the years past was pinpoint. And I just don't get it that you can have a pitcher. So you see this thing here, this is the PAR, the circle around the baseball in the middle of your screen. It's called the PAR. So that with perfect input, 100% accuracy, that ball, the pitch can go anywhere within that little PAR, or so it's supposed to. That is not the case this year though. I'm not quite sure how bad it is offline, but if you play online, head-to-head DD, ranked seasons, BR, events, anything, you will probably, one way or another, at least once a day, if not multiple times a game, where you will be like, holy shit, how did that pitch go there with perfect input? I think it just happened right there. I'm not asking for every perfect pitch to go exactly on the black where it's supposed to or stuff like that, but if you're gonna show us something like the PA around the baseball, like, hey, with perfect input, the baseball is gonna go somewhere within here, that's fine, but just make sure that it does, because if I'm aiming a fastball right here and I get perfect input and it ends up right here, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, on to the fun stuff and what really kick-started my idea for this video. It's these home run derby and all-star content that has dropped the last, what, 4 or 5 days? So number one, let's just go ahead and take a look, and I covered this in my, the all-star content video. Let's go take a look at the Moonshot week for the all-star reward. So we have here for 15 wins. So this is just 15 event wins, okay? This card will be available in the rewind packs all year. It's, it's a Franmil Reyes card. It's a decent hitting card. It'll make your bench probably, but it's nothing to go home and write about. He's got decent hitting, he's got bronze defense, and he's got 50 speed, so he's pretty goddamn slow out there. Now let's take a look at what is supposed to be the kind of I guess mid-year, because this is like the middle of the content cycle, you have like your start of the game where everybody's working towards collections and stuff like that, then it kind of dies down for a little bit, and then it's like, okay, all-star weekend, stuff like that, home run derby, bunch of juice cards about to come out, and then it kind of dies down a little bit, it's Madden season, stuff like that. They kind of try to keep people interested until the playoffs and the playoff content, and then finest, and then it kind of just dies off from there. The Giancarlo Stanton card is for winning the MVP of the All-Star Game. This is what is supposed to be your main attraction for your content drop. Take a look at this card and then look at the card that I just showed you, the Franmil Reyes card. That is 15 event wins. One of my good friend, Graceful Swans, tweets up here. He tweeted this out very late last night. So this is just an interesting fact. 99 Stanton versus finest Franmil Reyes, okay? Stanton has +9 contact, -6 contact against lefties, +3 power against righties, -10 power against lefties, and he's slower by 18 speed. One is supposed to be your main attraction for your content drop. The other is basically just a binder filling event reward that probably nobody is going to use. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Cards that you look at this card and you look at the Buxton card and you go, holy shit, how are they kind of the same overall? This IRES card, get it, he has 125 contact, but they gave him 125 vision, 96 plate discipline, and 125 clutch. So you're telling me Luis Irez is the most clutch baseball player of all time? This is just a stat to make his overall make sense, because if they gave that card 70 hitting clutch, which is probably what he should have, 80 durability like they kind of gave everybody else, people would be like, holy shit, this card should literally be like a 90. The home run derby cards, honestly, I shit on them before the fact, when they came out, but bro, looking at the all-star game cards, I don't feel too bad about the home run derby cards, man. I really wish I would have just bought these guys instead of waiting up for the all-star game cards, because I thought the all-star game cards were going to be so much better, because obviously when it comes to the home run derby content, you think, okay, they're literally just going to juice the shit out of the hitting on these cards, and they're not going to be the best fielders in the world. But if you actually look at the home run derby cards, some of them, they're actually better. People love Live Series J-Ram. Look at the difference between Live Series J-Ram and the All-Star, in the Home Run Derby one, sorry. The Home Run Derby one is better. I have J-Ram P3, so kind of -3 stats off that, so he has better hitting in every singular attribute. Contact against righties, lefties, and power. And he has, a +3. I think his fielding is the same. Yeah, his fielding is the same. So they made the home run derby cards just as good as some of the live series cards that those guys have. I get that the home run derby cards, they can't juice, they can't give Julio, I don't know what he has in his all-star game card. I assume he has gold diamond fielding probably. They can't do that. That just would, like, he would probably be an end game card, and he probably shouldn't be an end game card. But this is like the home run derby cards are good. I just don't get this. I don't. We're already losing players and stuff like that because people are just downright sick of the game and just don't want to put up with the bullshit anymore in it. And now you just have like let down with this content. It's just so frustrating because this was like your savior. Your content was always like the thing that they fell back on. And don't even get me started on this Jackie Robinson collection, bro. Like, this was a card that was also a collection last year. So I think this is like the first time that they've ever done like back-to-back years of the same card being obtained the same way, because Jackie was the TA1 collection last year, I believe. So he was cheap as fuck. People were getting Jackie like 3-4 days into the game pretty well. I'm not too sure exactly how expensive it is, but I know for 44 of these cards, I believe it's around 1.2 to 1.5 million stubs. Now, bear in mind, there may be more like all-star cards that come out within the next couple of weeks and stuff like that. They might just drop some random ones just so that this is more obtainable for people. It just seems like a cash grab. I don't know, man. I feel like if it was somebody other than Jackie, if it was somebody that was actually like an end game card and that people use, if it was like end game like Willie Mays or something like that, I think it would have saved their face a little bit. But I think it's just a little bit hard to get excited about Jackie. I just don't know, man. It's just, this game is just not in a good state. We haven't had a hitting patch or just a gameplay patch in general all year. Like, what other huge company could you imagine if Call of Duty didn't make a fucking change to their game the entire game cycle? There hasn't been a change to the actual game since it launched. And I'm only making this video because I hate complaining, and not complaining, but I like complaining when it's warranted. And I think complaining about this game is incredibly warranted. It just stinks, man, because I'm incredibly passionate about this game and I love this game and I always have loved creating content in this game. But I've been super inconsistent with it as of lately because it's hard, man. It's hard to hop on this game each and every single day and play it and save face and not get upset at it. It's hard, man. It eats you. It irks you. It takes a toll on your mental health, man. It does. I just can't hop on here every day and play this game every day and pretend that I like it, because that's just not being real to you guys. It's not being fair to you guys, because each and every single time that you guys see a video or I hit the go live button on stream, I should be at my 100% best and 100% healthiest. And I just can't say that I do that every day in this game, because it's just, I wake up in the morning and it instead of oh fuck, I can't wait to stream today, I hop on and I'm I have to stream, I have to play MLB today for 4 hours, or I'm gonna people are gonna forget about you, kind of thing, because people do forget very quick in this community. But I don't know, man. That's my rant, peeps. I'm very, very upset with the way that the game is, and just the way that they're taking it, and the way that they're almost just mocking with us and toying with us, and how they can actually hop onto their live stream in front of tens of thousands of people and go, yeah, we, the developers and the community managers of this game, think that it is working as intended and there's nothing wrong with it. How can you say that when they had the creator cut, man, and they were talking, oh, it's the first ever LAN MLB event, first ever LAN the show? That, for number one, is fake news. That is false. I forget exactly what year it was. It was MLB 17 or MLB 18 where they had, I believe it was, I'm gonna forget people that were in it, but it was a few of the, when they were doing the Sony partners, it was, I know Healy won it because he bunt cheese Quash at the end, I think it was. But it was Healy, it was Quash, Cougs might have been there, Twin might have been there. I forget everyone that was involved, or everybody that was a Sony partner kind of thing, but that was way back in the day. So this was not the first ever LAN or first ever LAN MLB the show event kind of thing, the Creator Cup, which was just kind of for fun. I think I counted personally five times that the game froze. Like, how can that happen? No, the game fucking froze because the game doesn't fucking work. Knock on wood, man. I personally have not had a singular freeze off all year, which is, I think I'm the only person that plays this game that hasn't gotten a freeze off yet this year. I don't know, it's because I live in Mickey Mouse Land, Canada, and I can't freeze down here, but I don't know, dude. It's just, there's so many things wrong. I think the only way to fix it is to just scrap it, rebuild it from a new engine, get some new developers in, and just start from the ground up again. Because honestly, man, since I started playing, the best MLB The Show game that had Diamond Dynasty in it was MLB 16. Currently 1:55 a.m. for me right now, so I'm gonna send this video off to my editor and I'm gonna hit the sheets because I'm very tired. But I appreciate you guys watching, man. I know this was a long one. This is a little bit different from what I do, so hopefully like our normal content will be back shortly, man. But I just had to kind of give myself a little bit of a mental break and just reset myself. I'm kind of excited to hop on stream tomorrow and play this game. That's just how batshit cuckoo crazy I am. But anyway, peeps, let me know what you guys thought of this video. I hate making stuff like this, but if you agree with me, let me know. If you don't agree with me, I'm more than able to just talk about it. Anyways, peeps, I love you guys. Thank you guys for all the support. As always, consistent videos starting again, hopefully next week, 4 videos a week. Streams hopefully 5 times a week. I'm gonna try and just keep it to MLB streams. I also like to stream COD and stuff like that, and just like have fun with the boys and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, man, if I do want to make this my job and I do want to do this full time, I'm just gonna have to like batten down the hatches and suck it up, buttercup, is what my grandmother always used to say to me. But I appreciate you guys, man, as always. Hopefully you guys had a great time, great night. Deuces.